everyone, and welcome to the 16th annual Reaching Home Awards celebration. I am so happy to be a part of this important event that celebrates the work of so many who work tirelessly over the year, and of course to end homelessness all the time over the past year. Congratulations to all the awardees and everyone on the Reaching Home team for their work, commitment, and dedication. Oh my gosh, what a year it's been. You're all incredible heroes. It's a true honor to be here tonight. And I would like to extend a sincere thank you to our sponsors and our supporters. We're so grateful for your generosity. And with that, let's get the night started. It's my pleasure to introduce Kylie Goslin, the Executive Director of the Partnership for Strong Communities. Kylie?
Problem of the year, forgetting to unmute yourself. Thanks, Renee. And thank you everyone for being here with us today. Of course, we'd rather be in person again. I was just remarking to Jane how it seemed improbable even in March of 2020 that we wouldn't have the event in person in June of 2020. And here we are in June of 2021. But we enter this space in a new landscape with some hope in front of us and some amazing accomplishments behind us. But before we begin to talk about a little bit about the incredible successes and achievements and tireless work that's happened over the last year, I'd be remiss in not noting that this has also been a year filled with some incredible losses and pain. And so for many of you, that's happened in the form of folks in your family being harmed by this virus or people impacted that you work with. And so we just wanted to take a moment before, again, we dive into the awardees and the rest of the night to really honor that loss and pain and take a moment of silence to remember those who have suffered over the last year. So please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you so much. So as I said, at this time last year, we were all just beginning to come to terms with the full scope of the pandemic. And incredible work had begun to create new programs to permanently and safely house thousands. And you, our partners throughout the state, were all busier than usual. And the partnership was busier than usual too. And as a result, we pushed off this event, but paused and used this event, which is normally a fundraiser, to really just come together, to celebrate one another, to celebrate the awardees, and to lift one another up at a time when everybody was struggling and working again harder than they ever have before. So this year we're grateful to find ourselves in a little bit of a better space, albeit still with a lot of work to do. And our work and our advocacy and our education and our support of all of you, our partners, wouldn't be possible during these times without those funders that have stepped forward to continue to fund the partnership, and many of your organizations as well. So I wanted to take some time to just pause and thank the supporters and the funders who've made this event possible and who make all of our work possible. So a special thank you as you scroll across the screen to our diamond sponsors this year. That's the Adams Family Foundation, Charlotte and John Suler, as well as the Department of Housing and our friends at the Connecticut Housing Finance Authority. Our platinum sponsors, the Melville Charitable Trust, Webster Bank, and our anonymous donor. Thank you to our gold sponsors, Beacon Communities, Carabetta Enterprises, Federal Home Loan Bank of Boston, Harry Goldfarb Foundation, Liberty Bank, and Pharma. And thank you to our silver sponsors, Berkshire Bank, Capital Strategies Group, Community Health Network of Connecticut, Connecticut Association of Realtors, the Cornell Scott Hill Health Center, Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services, Hartford Healthcare at Hartford Hospital, La Rosa Building Group, United Healthcare Foundation of Connecticut, and Webster Investments. And I'd also like to thank all those sponsors, again, many you seen scrolling across the screen, for supporting us with advertisements and donations. And thanks to everybody who bought a ticket to attend this virtual event. Unfortunately, we can't provide you with delicious appetizers and drinks with that, but maybe next year. So thank you for taking the time to buy a ticket and come today to celebrate the amazing work that we've all come here together to celebrate. So we have a great program for you today. I hope It's been set up by our amazing Director of Administration, Jane Peters. She's a one-woman show, but she has, I shouldn't say she's a one-woman show because she has a lot of support in the form of Dom Branson, Charlie Shaddix, and Carlene Sharmless, all the partnership who've helped put together this event, convene all of our funders and the awardees for today. So thank you to all of them, and a special thanks to Jane for making today happen. And also, again, a thanks to Renee Danino for helping us out as MC today. So I'll just note quickly before I turn it over to our amazing keynote that this past year has changed our expectations, I believe, of what we all thought was possible in the work to end homelessness. By celebrating the important work that you and all of our partners have done over the last year, we can really recommit ourselves to pushing for further breakthroughs in the work to make homelessness rare, brief, and one time. And so in the early days of the pandemic, as you may recall, which seems like a lifetime ago, Connecticut was actually one of the first states to decompress its shelter system. We were one of the first to better adhere to social distancing guidelines, and partners across the state, all of you, worked tirelessly with our partners in state government, many of whom are here today, to successfully move people experiencing homelessness into hotels and other safe housing situations. And because of all of your hard work, Connecticut was able to prevent a major outbreak of COVID-19 in these hotels and in the shelters. And that's because of continued work that happens today, that we are remaining relatively safe in those spaces. And demonstrating the power of organized collaboration, the Reaching Home Can COVID Task Force then implemented and drove the 1,000 Homes campaign, effectively using millions of dollars in new resources along with our Department of Housing to permanently house thousands in an effort that, again, is continuing to unfold. Housing advocates across the state lobbied for a statewide eviction moratorium, which again is continuing, and that lobbying continues even as of just a few hours ago. And the Reaching Home Prevention Work Group successfully worked with our Commissioner of the Department of Housing and again other state partners to set up a homelessness prevention program, which has helped use federal resources to catch those at risk of homelessness and entering the eviction process. That effort too has required all of us to be nimble. And I think that's the sentiment that you all share. Over the course of this year, we've watched you change course many times and shift with both resources, time, and staff over and over again in order to keep people safe, in order to get people housed as quickly and stably as possible. And before the pandemic, housing advocates and providers were starting to create multi-sector partnerships with organizations in the health and justice system, and among others, I should say. And the pandemic has really supercharged those efforts in some respects. It's helped galvanize some of those partnerships and create new and expanded ways that we can continue to work together. We've learned a lot, and we've taken a lot of lessons that we can move forward with in our work. And finally, throughout all of the last year, we have more than ever before really begun taking a look at the role of racial injustice plays within our own system, and really looking at the racial disparities and inequities that have pervaded our housing system for a long time, and the other systems that we work with, criminal justice, education, and the like. So housing organizations across the state have been working harder than ever to center racial equity in our state's housing policy and advocacy and find new ways to dismantle systemic racism. The work begun with the HUD racial equity demo here is just but one example. And I look forward to working with all of you over the coming years to continue to actively promote anti-racist housing policy at every level of the systems we work with, and to really take a hard look at our own systems too. We have a lot more work to do in this space. But above all, we want to extend thanks and gratitude to all of you for your hard work over the past year, whether it was on the front lines, moving folks to safety, those of you who are focused on identifying and moving households to permanent housing, preventing families from experiencing homelessness through diversion and other efforts, including outreach, those of you who are working to provide data and track our progress to hold ourselves accountable, and those of you who are working to advocate, especially through this unorthodox legislative session, for much needed resources to continue our work to prevent and end homelessness, ultimately resulting in millions of dollars of new resources through this last session. So you've all worked harder than ever. And while we still have so much work to do, you've made many lives better, safer, healthier, and ultimately your work this year truly saved lives and reduced homelessness in Connecticut, which is unbelievable. So thank you so much. So on to our next phase of our event here. We also experienced a major shift in our nation's political landscape one that I know many of us had hoped and prayed for. And like our keynote speaker, who's a fellow USICH alum, I know that we watched the federal landscape at HUD and USICH with a cautious and critical eye these past 4 years. But the past 6 months have proven to be a breath of fresh air in that regard, and the opportunity for change and progress feels like it is upon us again. So our keynote speaker today, who I'm honored to introduce, is a wonderful example of that change, and we're eager to hear his perspective on what's in store at the federal level. So Anthony Love is currently serving as USICH's interim director. In his prior role at the VA, he served as a senior advisor and director of community engagement, VHA homeless programs. And prior to his tenure at the VA, he served as the deputy director at USICH, where he was responsible for coordinating the state and local work of the council and served as the lead on veterans issues for the council. He has almost 25 years of experience in the homelessness, veterans, and poverty issues space. He holds a bachelor's in broadcast journalism, so I expect stellar performance tonight, from Texas State University, and a master's of public administration from the University of Missouri, Kansas City. Anthony, we are so grateful for you joining us today, and we're so eager to hear what you have to share with us. So without further ado, USICH Interim ED, Mr. Anthony Love.
Oh, thank you so much, Kylie, for that warm welcome. It is my pleasure to be here with you, and hello to everyone out there. As you just heard, I am Anthony Love. I'm the Interim Executive Director of the U.S. Interagency Council on Homelessness, or as some of you know us, USICH. We are an independent federal agency charged with coordinating and catalyzing the federal response to homelessness. We are the only federal agency whose sole mission is focused on ending homelessness. And despite all the things that happened over the past couple of years, we won't talk about that. But if you were wondering, I just want you to know that the agency is back to focusing on the mission of partnering, coordinating, and working to end homelessness through the implementation of evidence-based practices, centering racial equity in our plan to end homelessness, and striving for a day when housing is treated as a right and not a privilege. That's a message in and of itself. I could stop there, but that's not why I'm here, and I don't think you want to hear about our return from the wilderness. I'm here today to talk with you and to congratulate you on the fantastic work you are doing in the great state of Connecticut. I want to give a big thank you to the leadership and staff of the Partnership for Strong Communities for their leadership, their dedication and advocacy to end homelessness in Connecticut. And I also would like to give a grand shout out and congratulations to all of the award recipients for your commitment and drive to help your sisters and brothers exit homelessness and take a positive step towards the next phase of their life. This mission, and I call it a mission, because although some of you are paid to do this work, and you definitely don't do it for the pay, you do it to make a difference in the lives of other human beings. You're being recognized for going above and beyond the call under very difficult circumstances. But but for the most part, I think you're being recognized because your cause is not recognition. Your cause is to be compassionate, to be human, and to simply be a good person. Some of you are being recognized, know what it means to be without a permanent place to call home. In spite of that, you have made it your mission to help those who have been where you've been. You are paying it forward. You are what I would call the embodiment of what it means to care for your fellow human. I would also say you also embody what it means to live the golden rule, I might add, to be the golden rule. So I commend you on your willingness to lift as you climb and to help others, as the award indicates, to reach home. So for me, what makes all of this remarkable is that during this pandemic, this season, well, more than a season of racial and political upheaval, this time where no one would blame you if you simply wanted to holla and throw up both your hands, in the words of the great poet Marvin Gaye. You pushed through all this madness of last year and decided to make a difference, to be there for someone else, to be a good person. I mean, really, after going through what felt like 3,000 days in 2020 and how this year, 2020 2.0 started, and for some of us, how it's still going, you're pressing forward. You're shutting out the noise and doing what needs to be done because someone out there needs you, because you're on a mission. This mission I speak of and feel it's a mission of helping our brothers and sisters not to become homeless or to help them to exit homelessness. In my opinion, this is one of the most worthwhile missions one can undertake. I know it can be exhausting. I know it can be thankless. I know it can be infuriating when it seems that no one cares. But what you do literally, and I think Kylie mentioned this, it literally saves lives. It changes lives. It creates new beginnings. It writes a new ending. It says every human has value. It gives more instead of giving up. That young person that comes back and said, I was about to give up and you helped me to hang on. That veteran who was about to lose hope, but because of you, decided to give it one more shot and now has a key to a door that leads to a place he or she can call home. That family that was about to be kicked out and had no idea where they would go and may have had to be split up, but you worked your fingers to the bones to get them connected to the right resources and to help them stay in their home and get the services and support they needed to stay in that home. Why do we stay on this mission? Why do we choose this mission? We know for every successful housing placement, there's that one that disappeared on us. For everyone that we help to get employment, there's the one that is just not ready. For everyone that reunites with their family, there's one that the burnt bridge cannot be repaired. And for everyone that becomes stable on their medication, there's one that relapses. We don't do this because it's easy. If it was easy, it would have been done long before I started on this mission 25 years ago. We do it because it's worth it. I say it's worth it because we understand that relapse is a part of recovery. It's worth it because we don't throw people away. It's worth it because we've seen someone who's been on the street for 20 years decide to trust us and is finally able to sleep in a bed in their own place. It's worth it because I believe we're all we have. I say it's worth it because I've seen what happens when you don't give up on people. I say it's worth it because I've seen someone come to a program I used to run with nothing but the clothes on their back and eventually find their purpose and turn it all around where they are housed and doing the same for others. I say it's worth it because I am literally Facebook friends with people that I helped 25 years ago. It is worth it because every human deserves to be treated with dignity, with love, respect, and should always have a safe and permanent place to call home. So on this day, I want to applaud you. I want to celebrate you because your mission, and you've already chosen to take it, is to continue to love your neighbor as yourself. It is to be the change you want to see in the world. It is to be every positive cliche, scripture, quote, you name it, that you can think of. But it is as you are being recognized today to continue to simply be a good person. It is to continue to help others reach home. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anthony, for your knowledge, your work, and your leadership. That was truly inspiring, and we're honored to have you here tonight. So thank you, continued work and on your mission, and thank you to all of you who are here tonight. We've got so many great stories to share, and I want your autograph, Anthony, so maybe you can work that out later. So thank you so much for being here. God bless you, and be the change you want to see. That's the best word you can leave us with, right? Be kind to one another, be a good human. All right. Now I present to you Joe White, a good human. This is going to be emotional. So grab a tissue because Joe is here to share his prior lived expertise of homelessness in the form of poetry.
A life of once a homeless man. Now that I'm housed safe and warm, I can't help to think of all the homeless on rainy days and days that they tread in snow and struggle to keep their stuff in plastic bags to try to somehow keep what they have intact. Columbus House is truly the way home. I'm grateful for Columbus House and all staff. Thank you. Forever grateful. They are the hands of God, a life of once a homeless man.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you so very much for that. And now at this time, we ask you to consider making a donation to the Partnership for Strong Communities by texting the code REACHING HOME. Very easy. Text the code REACHING HOME to 44321 or by visiting pschousing.org/donate. You might be able to see some of this on your screen. By participating, you'll automatically be entered into our donation raffle where you can win, now this is quite a prize, 4 general admission vouchers to the Connecticut Science Center, 2 complimentary tickets to Stress Factory Comedy Club, 4 passes to the Mark Twain House and Museum, family of 4 complimentary guest passes to Beardsley Zoo. We're not done. $25 gift certificate to Doro Restaurant Group. This includes Zavere, Artisanal Burger, Zohara, and Treva. And free admission for 4 to Imagination, a museum early learning center, 1 3-month membership and 2 team training sessions to Big Sky Fitness in Newington, Connecticut. This is valued at over $500. So get to texting, get to donating. We certainly do appreciate you doing that and your generosity. Now, I'd like to share a congratulatory videos with you, a bunch of them actually, to the awardees from our Diamond sponsors. So let's hear it from our very good friend and my very good friend, Dan Adams of the Adams Family Foundation now.
I'm Dan Adams, representing the Adams Family Foundation. We are proud sponsors of the Partnership for Strong Communities and the Reaching Home celebration you're attending today. We believe the partnership's approach is the right one to eventually ending homelessness. It takes a lot of people to make this organization successful, but some, who we recognize every year, have gone above and beyond, and we'd like to give them special recognition through awards. I'm really disappointed we can't have this event in person because I'd like to personally meet you and congratulate all of you. So, as I mention your names, I appreciate it if you'll have a sense of humor if I butcher some of the names. First, congratulations to Teth Pickens and Antoine Riggs, receiving the Carol Walter Housing Tenant Award. Congratulations to the Cornell Scott Hill Health Center, Jessica Arroyo and Phil Costello, for receiving the Diane Randall Leadership Award. Congratulations to Stacy Valente Cote for receiving the Richard Schuster Advocacy Award, and Paul Kozlowski for receiving the Barbara Geller Lifetime Achievement Award. These individuals deserve the awards, and I'm hoping that you will congratulate them when you can. I look forward to meeting you and other people who are major contributors to the organization at a future event.
Thank you, Dan, and thank you for your generosity, and don't worry about butchering names. I'm just getting started, so I hope everyone has a good sense of humor coming up in the next little bit. All right, now Steve DeLella shares a congratulatory message to the awardees on behalf of the Connecticut Department of Housing.
The Connecticut Department of Housing would like to congratulate all awardees of the annual Reaching Home celebration, specifically Phil Costello and Jessica Arroyo, whose tireless work during the pandemic protected the lives of so many homeless individuals in the city of New Haven. Also, we'd like to recognize Stacy Violente Cote for her work in reducing youth homelessness across the state of Connecticut. Her tireless endeavors have led us to receiving numerous federal awards that really has reduced the number of youth homelessness here in the state of Connecticut. We'd also like to congratulate Paul Kozlowski, who also has worked in the youth spectrum and really has created so many different program models and types to really improve the lives of those that they've served. We'd also like to recognize our 2 tenant awards, Teth Pickens and Antoine Riggs, who have shown what can be done when one overcomes experiences of homelessness. Their strength and leadership has not only provided us with a beacon of hope, but also has helped numerous others in their struggles with overcoming homelessness. Thank you again for all of your tireless work. It is truly appreciated. The Department of Housing is honored to have partners such as you in our work to end homelessness across the state of Connecticut.
Thank you, Steve, and the Department of Housing for your sponsorship and words of congratulations. All right, now, last but certainly not least, please welcome Nandini Natarajan, Chief Executive Officer at CHFA, as she shares her congratulatory message to the awardees.
Good afternoon. The Connecticut Housing Finance Authority is proud to be a sponsor of the 16th Annual Reaching Home Awards celebration. On behalf of the Board of Directors and staff, congratulations to the award winners, and thank you for your work and the impact you're making on reducing homelessness in Connecticut. What I find unique and inspiring about the Reaching Home Awards is the recognition that preventing and ending homelessness requires a comprehensive approach. The problem won't be solved by one group, one strategy, or one program. The Reaching Home Awards recognizes and applauds the diversity of people and groups who have come together under the Reaching Home campaign to address the problem of homelessness from all sides. The solutions for homelessness are coming from housing tenants working to improve their communities from the inside, the public and private sector leaders who promote solutions to prevent homelessness, people who raise awareness and advocate for the needs of homeless individuals, families, and youth, and individuals who spend their lives and careers on the front lines of homelessness, helping people to reconnect with families and friends and reach their full potential. I'm proud that CHFA is one part of the solution as well, with financing for supportive housing that provides a safe, stable, affordable place to call home for many who have experienced homelessness in the past. We are in good company with all of Reaching Home's partners, and once again, congratulations and thank you to all of the 2021 Reaching Home Award winners.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Renee. Thank you, Nandini, Steve, and Dan. And a really special thanks to Joe, our own poet laureate, for sharing his gifts with us today in the form of that amazing poem. Thank you for all of the partnership that all of the awardees have provided us, and also all the donors. That's really what today about, celebrating all of the partnerships. So let's get to the good stuff, which is celebrating the awardees themselves. So I'm going to start off with the Diane Randall Leadership Award. And this is the part where I'm going to read what the award is for. So everybody sit tight. We do this every year to remind you. The Diane Randall Leadership Award recognizes an individual or group who demonstrates exemplary leadership in the public or private sector by promoting systems change, policies, and funding that create solutions to prevent and end homelessness. This award recognizes Diane Randall, the first executive director of. Under Diane's leadership, the partnership advocated for more than $400 million of funding from the Connecticut General Assembly for supportive and affordable housing, launched the Reaching Home campaign, and served as a leading voice for housing opportunity, homelessness elimination, and the creation of vibrant communities. And this year's award recipients could not be more appropriate for the year we've been in. As noted by some of those prior videos, the Cornell Scott Hill Center really played a pivotal role in connecting people to safety this past year. So the Cornell, this is a group award this year. It includes multiple individuals and the organization itself. So I'm going to read a little bit about each of them before turning it over for some videos. The award goes to the Cornell Scott Hill Center, which will be accepted by Mark Silvestri, Chief Medical Officer and Medical and Dental Services at Cornell. The Cornell Scott Hill Health Center is proud to stand as a national leader in community healthcare, offering state-of-the-art and integrated care at over 20 care sites throughout New Haven County. They serve over 36,000 patients each year and work hard every day to continue the important work that Mr. Scott started, keeping close at mind his advocacy for community healthcare and his passion to meet the healthcare needs of the underserved. The two individuals, part of the organization, who are also being named for this award Jessica Arroyo, LPN and Program Manager, Greater New Haven Healthcare for the Homeless. And Jessica is integral to the successes and positive impact the team has had in the Connecticut communities it serves. Jessica's drive, leadership, empathy, and her compassion make her a role model for her team and for our community partners. She has been the advocate and champion for many patients with diverse and complex needs. And in 2020, she took COVID head on and was the leader for organizing and managing the region's response for testing and for vaccinations. Her dedication and hard work have no doubt saved many lives throughout the years in our homelessness population, and especially this year. And finally, Phil Costello, Clinical Director, Greater New Haven Healthcare for the Homeless, Cornell Scott Hill Health Center. And Phil leads medical and case management teams that work with people who are formerly or currently experiencing homelessness. Phil's team partners with community agencies, soup kitchens, and shelters to provide medical care to New Haven's homeless and formerly homeless population. And he also provides medical care to people with substance use rehabilitation programs and to people who have recently been released from incarceration. He's been integral to several innovative initiatives, including enlisting community pharmacy support to get needs over-the-counter hygiene products and medication to the homeless at no charge to them, initiating the Volunteer Medical Corps of New Haven and the initiation of the Hope for Humanity for the Homeless, which was formed to empower and give voice to the homeless in Connecticut, giving them a seat at the table, seat at planning tables for policy and procedure, and the training and support to be effective advocates on the state and national level. So here to present the awards to Cornell Hill Scott Health Center, Jessica and Phil, are videos from Jennifer Paradis, Executive Director at Bethel Center, who many of you know, our own Margaret Middleton, Chief Executive Officer at Columbus House, and our another Reaching Home partner, Kelly Ann Day, Chief Executive at New Reach. So without further ado, we'll share some congratulatory videos.
Hello, I'm Jen Paradis from the Bethel Center. I am one of a few folks who have the honor and privilege and enormous duty to congratulate and to thank from the bottom of our hearts the Cornell Scott Hill Health Center Healthcare for the Homeless team, our dear friends Jess and Phil, and all of those folks who support you in your efforts and in your work and help you be just such the strongest partners we could ever ask for in all that we have been through as a sector and as partners together over the past year. The Diane Randall Leadership Award is one that exemplifies partnerships and innovation and dedication to not just our folks, even though that's why we all get up every day and do this work, but for one another, those people who have dedicated their lives to the work of ending homelessness and to changing the everyday experience of people who are experiencing homelessness. And I could not be more humbled and honored and grateful for knowing and getting a chance to work alongside these incredible people. And they have changed my life and the life of my team at the center. I think the moment that stands out the most to me, if I could pick out one in this entire experience, it feels difficult to do, is the night that we got our first COVID positive test result back. Of course, it happened at 11:30 p.m. on a Friday after testing for the first time that Thursday. Our center, took up action. We thanks to all of the partners at the Greater New Haven Coordinated Access Network, we were able to isolate the family that tested positive and follow up and protect the folks who were in our shelter. And I got a text message from Jess at about 1 o'clock that morning. I was in the parking lot of the hotel that we were transitioning this family to, and she first started just saying, "How you doing?" And to me, even though it came with so much support and so much, this is the next step, so much knowledge and comfort and knowledge, and it was also a companion who knew exactly what to do, but knew that in addition to action, we had so much kind of fear and the unknown to mitigate alongside response. So, and she helped me through that moment. She helped our team through that time. And unfortunately, of course, it wasn't our only COVID positive throughout the year. And each one became easier to manage, easier to accept and move through with the support of the Cornell Scott Hill Health Center team. But what I really want to say is this. Winning an award like this is not about what you did, but that list is incredibly long. This award is about who you are as a person, who you are as a team, who you are as an agency, as a culture. And so all I can say is that it could not go to a better team. It could not go to a better mission. As I said earlier, our lives are forever changed, and lives were saved because Phil and Jess and the team are just who they are. So congratulations on winning the Diane Randall Leadership Award. I wish it came with $1 million and a long vacation and all those other things that you deserve. But for now, we get to hug each other, which will be a really cool thing. So congratulations. Thank you for all you have done for us and all you continue to do.
Well,
hey y'all,
I want to.
Margaret Middleton, CEO of Columbus House, here with a huge congratulations to Jessica, Phil, and the team of homeless healthcare providers at Cornell Scott Hill Health. I can't say enough about what it's been like to work with this team over the last year. And I'll just share with you this little story that I think encapsulates a lot of what has made their service to our community so incredible this year. MLK, just a few months ago, homeless providers, as you recall, had not been deemed 1A. So some providers were getting access to vaccine, others weren't. And Jessica is calling me on MLK, which is her day off, working with me to make sure she has all the names and the date of birth so she can get folks at Columbus House signed up for vaccination, because she knows that if she books the appointments on her day off when everybody else isn't working, that the other schedulers won't take those slots. It was so important to her that frontline workers who were working every day with people experiencing homelessness got vaccinated from COVID, that she gave up her time to make sure that people would get in. And I was so moved by that commitment to her work, and so grateful for the support that it showed to our staff, who have been unbelievable. So hugely deserved award. I couldn't be happier to be sharing this moment with such an incredible team of committed servants to this community. So congratulations, guys, and I'll see you soon.
Good evening. My name is Kellyanne Day, and I'm the CEO at New Reach. I'm very honored to be here tonight to celebrate the Hill Health Center and Phil and Jessica and their whole team. They were truly angels for us last March. When COVID hit, our shelters were in full operation, staffed 24/7, and unfortunately, one of our part-time employees was struck with COVID and passed away. It was a struggle for many reasons and on many levels. One of the things that Phil and his team provided was knowledge, PPE, and support to get us through so that we could support our staff who were scared and unsure whether or not they had been exposed, to our residents who were scared and unsure whether they had been exposed. And Phil and his team came in, they were able to test, they educated us to the best extent they could on what was known at that time. They were able to provide a very rapid turnaround for testing for our employees and our staff and our clients. And for that, I will be ever grateful as a leader. It was very important to make sure that I could ensure the safety of our residents and our staff, as well as keep the operations going. We had 20 families and over 30 children and 24 single women who were counting on us to keep the doors open during those very crazy times. Once we were able to move folks into hotel from Martha's Place, and we cut our census at Life Haven, Phil was instrumental with his team on continuing to touch back with our staff at Life Haven as that program operated 24/7 throughout the entire pandemic. When masks became an issue, we needed to wear them. We needed to have all of our residents wear them. Phil and his team were right there helping to support us. I just want to give a huge shout out to the Cornell Scott Hill Health Center, and specifically to Phil and Jessica and their team, who made themselves available 24/7 to those of us running programs 24/7 through the pandemic. Congratulations, Phil. Congratulations, Jessica. We are so fortunate to have you in the city of New Haven. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Kellyanne, for that video. Thanks to Jen and Margaret as well. We're going to turn now to Mark Silvestri to accept the award on behalf of the Hill Center, and then we'll hear from Jessica and Phil. So Mark, go ahead. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And thank you. We have the award here. We're so grateful for it. My apologies for jumping in earlier. I guess I was just too excited. I mean, it's such a huge honor to accept the Diane Randall Leadership Award today on behalf of the Cornell Scott Hill Health Center. And I mean, I don't need to tell you, but providing services to homeless individuals is entirely a team effort. So although we're accepting this award today, we certainly share it in spirit with the many partners with whom we work on a regular basis. So many of them are represented here today: Columbus House, Bethel Center, New Reach, Liberty, just to name a few. I mean, I could go on with a list of dozens, really. But I just want to start by honoring and thanking the many dedicated individuals and organizations that we work alongside. At the Cornell Scott Hill Health Center, our passion in caring for those experiencing homelessness and advocating for their needs stems from the fundamental commandment that Director Love actually mentioned earlier: love your neighbor as yourself. In healthcare, loving those experiencing homelessness means treating them with honor as valuable human beings. You know, many times their brokenness or addictions or needs may be more obvious than yours or mine, but like anyone else, they are worthy of our attention, our care, our compassion, our encouragement and respect, and they're worthy of being cared for with dignity. So when the COVID-19 pandemic set in, and with the reality becoming clear of how severe a threat it would be to our homeless neighbors, this meant that we needed to figure out very quickly, how do we provide large-scale COVID testing in a way that's accessible for this community and also for the many people on this call caring for them? How do we work quickly with state and local leaders to ensure that housing arrangements can be as safe as possible? And how do we ensure that homeless individuals who are diagnosed with COVID-19 get adequate monitoring and treatment, just like the rest of our patients? More recently, it's meant, how do we make sure that those who are experiencing homelessness are among the early waves of vaccine eligibility, and how do we make vaccines most accessible to them? In the middle of figuring all this out was our Healthcare for the Homeless team. I mean, they really deserve all of the credit. They are not huge, but they are creative, experienced, devoted, and tireless. They are the ones who, working with the rest of our organization, made all of this happen over the past 15 months. So I especially want to honor Phil and Jessica, from whom you're about to hear, because their heart for the homeless is really at the center of our heart for the homeless as an organization. They are fierce advocates for the healthcare needs of the homeless population, and they are constantly pushing me and Cornell Scott Hill Health Center as a whole to imagine how we can serve the homeless community better. So I'm very grateful to the partnership for recognizing the work of Cornell Scott Hill Health Center and also for recognizing the remarkable work of Phil, Jessica, and our entire Healthcare for the Homeless team. So we're honored to receive this award together. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mark, and thank you to the Hill Health Center. It's a real appropriate award for this year, given the above and beyond nature of the work that you all engaged in and so many of our frontline partners and friends engaged in. So thank you. With that, I will turn it over to Jessica, and then we'll hear from Phil. So Jessica Arroyo, congratulations.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm truly honored and humbled, and just the stories that Jen and Margaret had shared. I'll be honest, I had a speech and then they just kind of like, I'm almost speechless. Not the couple months just went by almost, in a blur, and you do what you do because it's not a job. I mean, yes, this is my job, but I do this because I love what I do. This is the most rewarding position that I've ever been in. And, my patients are my family. So what I would do for my family is what I would do for my patients. I'm just, honored with the partnerships that we've been blessed to work with. Just as Dr. Silvestri had mentioned, we could probably be here forever to name the list of all the community partners. I see even you guys as family. I see Jen as family, Margaret as family, everyone that we worked with, Kellyanne, throughout the organization. I want to thank my team, our fearless leader, Phil, for his leadership. I want to thank Chloe, our medical technician, who was there with me, helping me do the COVID testing and helping me with the scheduling. Marlene, our nurse, who's been out there with us on the front line, as well as Anna, one of our nurse practitioners, Jason, our substance abuse counselor, and Laura, who was there to help, our medical case manager, to help with assisting the clients that needed help during the pandemic. I'm not sure if I thanked my family, because I think Margaret might have got me in trouble with working on my time off. Thank my family for their patience and, for supporting me in the work that I do. Truly, truly honored and a blessing. And I thank you guys all so much.
Thank you, Jessica. I think it speaks volumes of you that you spent most of your acceptance speech giving honor and praise to other people, which seems to be quite in alignment with how you all operate there. So thank you. Congratulations. This is so well deserved. And now we'll turn it over to Phil, last but not least, for the Diane Randall Leadership Award. Phil Costello, congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'm very honored to receive this award. Like Jessica, I can't thank our staff enough. I tell my staff every day that you guys keep me from getting fired every day. But we really are a team internally. Jessica has been just amazing with her organization, her being able to pull together all the vaccines and all the testing, and just the bravery of the staff going out, the bravery to be able to navigate this through a disease that we really didn't truly know all the causes or all the nuances and caveats that we needed to in the beginning. I have to say that going forward, and looking back to go forward, we have established some incredible partnerships with our partner organizations. And to witness the bravery of their frontline staff going to work every day when they weren't acknowledged as frontline workers. It really was angering to me to begin with, that because they had to be there. They had to be there to support our people, our patients, the people that we are charged to care for. They showed up to work. They showed up to work without the PPE. They showed up on faith that we would have it and get it there for them. And so I have to just give kudos to each of these organizations and to their staffs for their bravery and their amazing endurance through all this. It's just been a wonderful experience in human spirit to see the caring and see the selflessness throughout. As we met weekly and so bi-weekly to try to all figure this out, as partners, we've made bonds together that have improved, I feel, the overall care and the overall not only healthcare, but housing situation and activities of daily living for the homeless. We've made great strides through that. One example would be the, getting them into the hotels and seeing how much more humanity they felt in those environments. It's been very humbling. I look forward in the future to continuing to work with our partners, to be closer with them, and to work to develop a better future for the homeless and our people. They are my family as well. The Native Americans have a saying, Mitakuye Oyasin. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but it's, we are all related, and certainly heartfelt between our organizations and our patients. We are all related. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Phil. Congratulations. And thank you and all the award winners really, like I said, embody the bravery of this year, the life-saving efforts, the true frontline efforts, and the true heroic efforts that were happening that, all of us sitting behind desks trying to find the money for are only beginning to really appreciate and see. And so thank you so much for sharing so much of the stories, and thank you for your incredible work. Thanks to Jessica, Mark, and the whole Hill Health Center team. Thank you very, very much. All right, we're going to move on to our next award. The next award is the Reverend Richard Schuster Advocacy Award. This is an exciting one to give out this year because there's also a victory behind this, which I'll share a little bit later, but many victories truly. And so I'll read what the award is about, as we'll do for each of these. So the Reverend Richard Schuster Advocacy Award recognizes a professional or volunteer who demonstrates an outstanding commitment to raising awareness about the needs of individuals and families currently in danger of experiencing homelessness, using either legislative or client-centered advocacy, either through direct work with people experiencing homelessness, managing local programs, or organizing advocacy. They've had a strong and positive impact in efforts to end homelessness. This award honors Dick Schuster for his work at advancing and advocating for supportive housing. Dick made ending homelessness his life's work for over 40 years, leading St. Luke's LifeWorks as executive director for 22 years. A founder of the Connecticut Coalition to End Homelessness and the Connecticut AIDS Resource Coalition, Dick was also a founding member of the Reaching Home Steering Committee, which he chaired for 3 years. This year's Reverend Richard Schuster Advocacy Award goes to Stacy Violante Cote, Director of Operations, Director at Right Direction Homeless Youth Advocacy Project and Center for Children's Advocacy. I want to note that before I read you a little bit about Stacy, that this year, in the past 2 years, Stacy has worked to champion a bill that passed this year, which will allow for a fee waiver for identity documents for youth experiencing homelessness. And I can't think of someone who embodies this award more as we're reading through, noting the commitment to raising awareness about the needs of individuals, families in danger of experiencing homelessness using legislative or client-centered advocacy. And that's really who Stacy is. Stacy has been an attorney, for those of you who don't know her, at the Center for Children's Advocacy for nearly 20 years. She was appointed Director of Operations for the Center in 2018, providing support for the Center's staff, improving practice, and increasing the Center's footprint in Connecticut. Stacy's work focuses on advocating for youth who are experiencing homelessness or at risk for homelessness. Stacy co-chairs the Youth and Young Adult Homelessness Work Group and the Prevention Work Group of Connecticut's Reaching Home campaign, working with statewide partners to ensure youth homelessness is rare, brief, and one time. At the center, Stacy also supervises attorneys, case managers, and paralegals who work with youth throughout the state and oversee 2 of CCA's innovative outreach methods, the Center's mobile legal office and CCA's teen legal action clinics at Bridgeport's Harding High School and at Norwalk High School. Stacy and her team work to remove barriers that prevent youth from completing school and address civil legal issues that are obstacles to long-term independence and success. I can't think of a more tenacious and deserving advocate, especially for youth, than Stacy. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our very own amazing former partner and staff person, Alicia Woodsby, who's now the Senior Associate of the Human Services Group at TAC. And she's going to present the award to Stacy by video. Alicia.
Hey everyone, I'm Alicia Woodsby with the Technical Assistance Collaborative, formerly with the Partnership for Strong Communities. I'm so excited to be here with you for the Reaching Home Annual Celebration, Award Celebration, presenting Stacy Violante Cote with the Reverend Richard Schuster Advocacy Award for demonstrating an outstanding commitment to raising awareness about the needs of people experiencing homelessness through both legislative and client-centered advocacy, and having a strong and positive impact in the efforts to end youth homelessness in the state. Having partnered and worked side by side with Stacy for over 9 years, I can attest how much she embodies the qualities in advocacy, dedication, and commitment that are intended for this award. Stacy was a leading advocate in Connecticut, focused on youth homelessness when I joined the partnership back in 2011. She had been convening a group of providers and advocates for several years already at that point, who were focused on improving state policy, collecting better data, and building the resources needed to serve the population. They were successful in securing funding for the first state-funded homeless youth program, and also worked on several other important legislative improvements. So when I asked her to join forces with the Reaching Home campaign and integrate her work group into the Opening Doors Connecticut campaign structure, her major priority was whether there'd be better outcomes for young people. Stacy has always cared, first and foremost, about the young people that she serves and advocates for. She did join us, thankfully, and we got to work first trying to prove that youth homelessness was actually even happening in the state. By commissioning the first needs assessment by Dr. Derek Gordon, and trying to produce some data to show policymakers that this in fact was an issue, and to make the case to reinstate the funding for the homeless youth program that at that point had been rescinded. And we were successful in getting that funding reinstated, and next decided to work with some partners to pull together a statewide group to plan for the first statewide youth count. We also brought in some consultants to help us work with key stakeholders at the local, state, and federal level to develop the first statewide plan to end youth homelessness. And the work really just kept evolving from there. Partnering with Stacy over the 9 years that I was at PSC was one of the greatest experiences working in Connecticut, one of my greatest experiences working in Connecticut. She is humble and passionate, resilient, extremely smart, hardworking, determined, a good listener, and a really great partner. Her tenacity, integrity, and commitment to addressing youth homelessness really make her the perfect recipient for this award. It's because of people like Stacy that cross-system collective impact efforts like Reaching Home can truly work. I am honored to have worked with her over the past many years, and so honored to be presenting her with this award today. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Alicia, and I couldn't have said it better myself. So I'm going to turn it over now to Stacy for her acceptance remarks. Congratulations, Stacy.
Thank you, Kylie, and thank you, Alicia, and congratulations to all the awardees today. I am so humbled to receive this. When I looked back at the list of recipients for this award, starting with the always inspiring Dave Martineau back in 2013, I'm truly humbled to be among the recipients. I really owe a debt of gratitude to Alicia for her partnership over these many years, and to the campaign. It's truly through the campaign that I came to understand what true, authentic partnership, collaboration, and engagement really looks like, and really the awesome power of coming together. So if you'll bear with me, with that in mind, I have sort of a top 10 list of accomplishments for the youth movement over all of this time. And I really can't say enough that it is a movement of so many people, many of whom are here today. And I accept this award really on behalf of all of the work that all of you in the movement have done. So I promise I'll be quick, and it's amazing to think about what we've done together. So number 10, starting with way back in 2007, when we brought together stakeholders who have now been together for 14 years doing this work. All of those people who have come together and stayed together for 14 years doing this work. And we established a strong and knowledgeable youth action hub with the help of the Institute for Community Research, Melville Charitable Trust, but it was really Angel, Natalie, Diana, Jamel, all of you who taught us what authentic youth partnership looks like. And without that, we would not be here today. As Alicia said, we initiated the first ever youth count. So then numbers, where are we? Number 7 and 6, we secured not only the first round of the federal youth homelessness demonstration grant, but also the third round. 2 rounds to cover our entire state. That's the work that you all did. And all of the regional leads dug in, they established youth teams, they initiated youth-specific case conferencing, employed youth navigators, and of course, housed hundreds of young people. Number 5, we held a successful statewide 100-day challenge. For those of you who've been involved in challenges, a statewide challenge is on a whole grander scale, and it was only through the collaboration of the entire campaign that we were able to successfully do that and house 397 youth and young adults in a 100-day period. That's really amazing. Number 4, we've passed countless numbers of legislation. Kylie talked about our most recent accomplishment, and not to mention establishing the State Homeless Youth Program, which Alicia mentioned, but also ensuring that the educational rights of students experiencing homelessness were promoted, and also ensuring that minors experiencing homelessness on their own were able to access their own birth certificates. All of this done together. Number 3, we came together during the pandemic to not only highlight the needs of youth experiencing homelessness, but to hear from youth experiencing homelessness and ask them to tell us what we needed to do. Number 2, and this is a bit of a cheat because we're not quite there yet, but we are on the precipice of launching pilot sites to address the needs of minors experiencing homelessness. And lastly, I'll say it again because I think it bears repeating. We sustained and nurtured partnerships with young people across the state who are true leaders in this movement. So for that, all of those top 10 items, of which there are, millions of other things that folks do every day, I'm truly grateful for all the work of everybody in this collaboration. I believe in the power of this experiment that we're all in, of collaborating together. And for my part, I would be remiss if I didn't thank those who support me in my work. I couldn't do this without the support at home from my family, my husband, my sons, my mom, and the rest of my family, and my support in my job. And I'd like to thank my executive director, Martha Stone, for the 20 years that we've been in cahoots together. So thank you to all my partners in this work. Thank you to the campaign, and onward we go.
Congratulations, Stacy. Well deserved. And thank you for the really inspiring trip down memory lane of all the work that's happened in the youth space. It really is inspiring, and it's even more meaningful knowing that you have been there for every step of the way, but that that you've really worked with those youth and created partnerships, and that those youth, many of them whom you mentioned, have been there every step of the way and been engaged in that work and leading that work alongside you. So thank you. All right, we're going to turn our attention now to the Carol Walter Housing Tenant Award. So a reminder that this is a special award that recognizes 2 housing tenants who show commitment to advocacy for permanent housing solutions, exhibit leadership skills, and work to make their community a better place. The award is named in honor of Carol Walter, a much-loved executive director of the Connecticut Coalition to End Homelessness, our key partner in this effort, and a respected advocate in the area of housing and homelessness. Carol was passionate and tireless in her work to end homelessness. And that couldn't be a better reflection of the 2 awardees for this year. So this year's Carol Walter Tenant Award goes to Teth Pickens and Antoine Riggs. I'll read to you a little bit about each of them, and then we'll hear from both of them along with some videos. Teth is a longtime advocate for people experiencing homelessness. In recent months, she has worked to lobby in favor of access for identity documents for youth experiencing homelessness, as well as taking part in a protest in front of the state capitol to ensure funding for homelessness programs, asking that it be added to the American Rescue Plan Act. She has partnered with organizations like Journey Home and Hands On Hartford to support advocacy efforts in Connecticut, and served as president of the New Haven Youth Advisory Board for 4 years. Teth has dedicated herself to helping people who are at risk of slipping through the cracks, especially young people like her who are transitioning to adult life from DCF care. While serving as president of the Youth Action Board, she successfully advocated for greater sibling visitation rights for youth in DCF care, helping to better connect young people to their families. And Antoine, after experiencing homelessness twice in 2 years, Antoine Riggs decided to give back by working with Homes for Hope, a Westport-based organization which helped him find housing. Expressing a desire to try his hardest to help as much as possible, Antoine works with shelter staff and guests to help them in any way he can. While living in the Gillespie Center shelter, he volunteered and helped advise other shelter guests on the best way to resolve their homelessness. In 2021, he looks forward to continuing to work at Homes with Hope and helping people who are experiencing homelessness. We're going to hear via video from Chris Venable, Homeless Youth Liaison at Journey Home, presenting the award to Teth, and from Ryan Soto, Program Director at Gillespie Center and Hoskins Place, Homes with Hope, who is presenting the award to Antoine. So let's roll the videos.
My name is Chris Venable, and it is my privilege and honor to present the Carol Walter Housing Tenant Award to one of the recipients this year, Teth Pickens. I am the Coordinated Access Network Homeless Youth Liaison for Journey Home, and we provide backbone support and coordinate the efforts of agencies throughout the Coordinated Access Network in all of the all the service providers to help end homelessness, specifically for youth, to try to make it short, brief, and non-recurring. And I've been working with Teth for a year and a half, but I have come to find out that Teth has been doing this work much longer than I have in this area. So the story that I would share and why Teth is so deserving of this award is that Teth, when we were talking one day, and so part of the Youth Action Council role is to provide feedback to the Coordinated Access Network system on how to make improvements so that youth and young adults don't slip through the cracks and have access to services. And the story that I would share is, while we were talking about doing this, Teth said, well, why don't I just record some of the interactions that I have with people to get feedback, video feedback, like interviews. And I said, what do you mean record some of the interactions that you already have? And it turns out that Teth, not as a peer support specialist with Hands On Hartford, which she is, and not as a member of the Youth Action Council here in the Greater Hartford region through Journey Home, which she is, but Teth on her own was already out and about interacting with people who need help, trying to help them get access to services, call 211, and navigate the systems to make it more user-friendly for them. And so it was like a natural leap for her just to say, well, if we want to get real-time feedback and we want to have interviews, why don't I just record what I'm doing already? And so one of the reasons, and probably the strongest reason why Teth is so deserving of this award, is that she lives and breathes this work already, and she cares so much. And so if I had to pick one word to describe Teth, it would, I can't pick one word, but resilient comes to mind. She's incredibly resilient. She's incredibly resourceful. She has great ideas, and I feel very privileged to be able to work with her, and I think she is very deserving of this award. Teth, congratulations. Couldn't be happier for you. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Ryan Soto, and we are here to speak about Antoine Riggs, who is awardee of the award that we're here tonight to celebrate. Antoine is an amazing man, a great father, but he did fall on hard times, and that's how Antoine and I met. We met about 2 years ago, and he was entering his homelessness when we met. Since then, Antoine has persevered and has encouraged other people in his predicament to succeed as best as they could. And he's just a breath of fresh air when he comes in, whether it be to work or volunteer here, because that's what he does now, currently at the Gillespie Center in Hotchkiss Place in Westport, a Homes with Hope program. He is truly one of a kind, and we are grateful to have him, and I'm even more grateful to say that he deserves this award more than anything else. So thank you, and have a wonderful night.
Thanks so much, Chris and Ryan, for those videos. So now we're going to hear directly from our awardees, and I'm going to start with Teth. Teth, congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome to the stage virtually.
So all I would like to say is, in the beginning of me going through my homelessness, I used to think like it was a curse, you know? And then after going through almost every shelter that a female could be in Hartford, I realized there was actually a reason for it. And sometimes we as people may not understand the reason why we're going through something, but a lot of times the knowledge that we gather when we're going through things can be helpful for the next person that may have to go through it. So then I stopped looking at it as a bad thing, and I started looking at it as another way just to collect more data to help the next person. So now with my work doing outreach, every time someone's scared to go to a shelter, I have full knowledge of how that shelter works due to being there. So I can give them more comfort and more ease to let them know it's not like what we see on the movies. So I just feel good in having the experience to be able to share with people who are currently going through it, to explain to them that there is a sunny day at the end of this storm. So you just have to weather it. So I'm grateful for Chris, and I'm grateful for Matt Morgan for actually seeing me when I was actually transitioning out of the Y shelter. I started this project with Journey Home doing the YAC, and I just felt seen in my interview, and not that I was just a person going through something, but I was a person that he saw going through something and wanted to help me use my voice to help other people. So I'm grateful for that.
Thank you so much, Teth. And thanks for sharing your gifts with everybody, and not just your gift of your experience, but it sounds, based on everything everyone's sharing about you, that you have a lot of gifts and talents to share, and that you have a really bright future ahead of you. So keep on doing what you're doing, and thank you so much. Congratulations.
Also,
go ahead, please.
Renee, when we're done here, can I talk to you about getting my music played on your radio station?
Done. Come on down.
Awesome.
Come on over. Let's play some. I'm here right now.
Her music is great.
Thank you.
Awesome. She has extra gifts. When I said that, I didn't even know you had these amazing musical gifts. So thanks, Ted. Now you got a great business connection here too. So excellent use of excellent leveraging. But thank you so much for all the work you do. Thank you for your advocacy. Keep up the great work. And thank you for mentioning the sunshine at the end of the storm. I feel like a lot of us feel like we're starting to see that sunny day at the end of the storm. So thanks for that metaphor too. All right, and now we're going to jump to Antoine. Antoine, congratulations.
Well, thank you kindly. I appreciate it. Hello, everybody. Right. thank you for this award. You know, I'm very appreciative of Homes with Hope for nominating me in the first place. I was a guest at their shelter and now I work there. You know, now I got my own apartment through them, and it's all because of them. I encourage all my guests at the shelter to work hard and find their own housing. I will live up to this award. Again, thank you very much.
I think you're living up to the award. Thank you so much. Thanks, Antoine. Thanks for sharing your gifts and talents also. There you go. Got the hardware. Find a nice place for that.
Surely would. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you're doing. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you kindly.
Of course. All right.
Are we presenting them with their additional?
All right.
awards as
Well, hello everyone, and honestly, congratulations, Teth and Antoine. You are true reasons why I think everyone is here tonight, and brilliant. And my name Renee Danino. I don't even know if I introduced myself, but I am live in my studios in Hartford, and behind me is a couch that has been in my studio for 16 years from Bob's Discount Furniture. So I just wanted to get that out there, because now I'm going to ask Chris and Ryan to present the envelopes from Bob's Discount Furniture to Teth and Antoine. And I want you guys to open. I don't know if you're, I don't know if you can see everything. Are they open? I don't want to give anything away. Is it safe to say? All right, I can see you, Antoine. In 3, 2, 1. Woo! We're pleased to announce that both Teth and Antoine have been awarded a $500 gift card to Bob's Discount Furniture, thanks to Bob's Charitable Foundation. Congratulations!
Thank you so much, because I have cats, so I really needed a new couch. Thank you so much.
Well, congratulations to both of you again. Thanks for the amazing work that you're doing to help so many other people. Congratulations. All right, we got one more award. Thanks, Renee, for stepping in. We didn't want to forget that. Our last award tonight is the Barbara Geller Lifetime Achievement Award. And this one goes to someone who's also been a partner in Reaching Home for a long time. The Barbara Geller Lifetime Achievement Award recognizes an individual who has worked tirelessly throughout their lifetime or career to help people experiencing homelessness to find housing and support, reconnect with family and friends, and reach their full potential. This award goes to a person who stands above the crowd over decades of truly extraordinary work in ending and preventing homelessness in Connecticut. The Barbara Geller Career Achievement Award was first given in 2015 to Barbara to honor her for her longstanding commitment, passion, and accomplishments in providing supportive housing for those experiencing chronic homelessness. Recipients of the award will embody the spirit that made Barbara an unforgettable friend and colleague. Her leadership, guidance, and inspiration, all unfailingly delivered with grace, good humor, and respect for everyone. Awardee names will be added to the commemorative plaque housed at Geller Commons in Hampton, an affordable and supportive housing development named in Barbara's honor. And this year's recipient is Paul Kozowski, Chief Executive Officer of the Youth Continuum and a longtime partner in the youth effort here at Reaching Home. Congratulations, Paul. For those of you who don't know Paul, he's the CEO of Youth Continuum, a New Haven-based youth services organization. Paul has worked at Youth Continuum for the last 21 years. The first 18 as its Director of Program Operations and the last 3 as CEO. Throughout his career, his interests have been centered on creating new programs which integrate levels of care through unique, seamless systems of services in the best interests of clients. 2021 is an important year for Paul and the Youth Continuum. The organization will soon begin construction on a new center for youth experiencing homelessness, a project that has been inspired and guided by Youth Continuum's youth partners with the support of the Connecticut Department of Housing and Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services. Construction will soon begin and the site is scheduled to open by 2022. I know that's been a long time coming, so congratulations to Paul and the Youth Continuum on that project. But more importantly, congratulations to Paul on his long-standing work to serve youth experiencing homelessness. There's 3 presenters for this award, so I'm going to let them speak for themselves and roll the video, please. We have Judith Normandin, Youth Continuum BOD Vice President, Sherry Shapiro, and Margot Tucker, Youth Continuum Board President. Let's watch their videos now.
Good afternoon. It is my privilege to present the Barbara Geller Lifetime Career Achievement Award to Paul Kozowski, the Chief Executive Officer of Youth Continuum. As a member of the board since 2018, I have come to appreciate the incredible work that you and your team do, Paul, for the young adults of New Haven who are experiencing homelessness. When I look at what you have accomplished just in the past year alone, I am truly amazed. Under your steady leadership, Youth Continuum has begun a remarkable project with the adoption of the Youth to Youth program, modeled after the Y2Y program in Cambridge. You have almost single-handedly raised funds, both public and private, for the physical expansion of our Grand Avenue site to accommodate 20 crisis beds for young adults. As we say in the business, you are raising the roof. Our board and our community partners appreciate you, Paul, and your tenacity and inspiration in successfully managing the complexities of planning, funding, constructing, and coordinating resources to bring the dream of ending homelessness for young adults in New Haven closer to fruition. We also want to commend you, Paul, for your tireless energy in wearing the many hats that a leader of a small nonprofit must wear. Thank you for all of your work, and especially for your open and effective communication with the board of directors. Your creativity and intelligence have put us on a sustainable path to achieving our mission. And on a personal note, Paul, please take a vacation. You deserve it. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Sherry Shapiro, Executive Director of Kids in Crisis, a program serving runaway, homeless, and at-risk children and youth. It is through my work at Kids in Crisis that I first met Paul Kozowski, and it is my pleasure this afternoon to introduce to you Paul as the recipient of the Barbara Geller Lifetime Career Achievement Award. This recognition of Paul in Barbara's name is spot on. They both dedicated their careers to making positive change that would allow all people to be safe, healthy, and successful. Paul has spent his career being the voice and the man behind the curtain for young people experiencing homelessness. Paul has done this at the national, regional, and local level. Right here in our own backyards in Connecticut, Paul's imprint can be seen on the young people who have had the opportunity to grow to be safe, healthy, and successful. As the CEO of Youth Continuum, Paul has been a leader, literally breaking ground to ensure that those experiencing homelessness have had a safe place to be out of harm's way. Wherever I go, Paul is there speaking for, with, and on behalf of those experiencing homelessness. Paul listens to those with lived experience and gives them the platform to bring awareness to the often invisible struggles faced by youth with no safe place to live. He is a man who speaks with conviction and passion. Paul sees the big picture and works to achieve it while keeping his feet firmly planted on the ground. One such example is how Paul and his colleagues developed a wonderful way to encourage young people to be a part of the solution with the opening of a new program, Y2Y New Haven, Youth to Youth. This is a program modeled after Y2Y Harvard Square. Who better to speak for young people than young people themselves? Through this program, Youth Continuum trains volunteer college students to collaborate with staff to provide programming specific to and driven by input from the youth they serve. It is this creativity, commitment, and caring that makes Paul a leader and someone who clearly emulates all that Barbara Geller stood for and achieved in her lifetime. Congratulations, Paul. Job well done.
Good afternoon, and my thanks to the Partnership for Strong Communities for hosting today's event. My name is Margot Tucker, and I am president of the Board of Youth Continuum, where our mission is to address and prevent youth homelessness. For more than 35 years, Paul Kosowski has devoted his life and career to supporting at-risk youth. He has served as a tireless crusader for this population, those who can easily fall through the cracks of the system. In the year 2000, Paul joined the staff of Youth Continuum and spent the next 21 years guiding the agency's programs and advocating locally and nationally for homeless youth. Now, as CEO of the agency, he brings his energy and devotion to the helm of this important organization. It is impossible to measure the full impact of Paul's career, but for certain it has been both broad and deep. One of the clients at Youth Continuum summed it up this way: Youth Continuum helped me believe in myself, gave me focus, support, purpose, connection. Youth Continuum saved my life. The Barbara Geller Lifetime Achievement Award recognizes an individual who has worked tirelessly throughout their career to help people experiencing homelessness find housing and support and to reach their full potential. It is my honor to present this award to Paul Kosowski. I can think of no better person to receive it.
Thank you so much. Thanks to those presenters for sharing their thoughts about Paul. I echo all of that. Paul's been a tireless advocate. And Paul, just because you received the Lifetime Achievement Award doesn't mean you're old. For those of you who don't know, Paul started working at Youth Continuum at age 15 himself, right, Paul? Without further ado, Paul, congratulations. Please feel free to take the stage.
Thank you so much, Margot, Judith, Sherry, and thank you, Kylie, and to the partnership for this amazing award and recognition. It's truly an honor to receive this award here among all of you, the many listening to today's ceremony, but also within the context of the hundreds of incredibly dedicated professionals and people with lived experience of homelessness who are working every day to end homelessness in Connecticut. I want to recognize the incredible statewide leadership we have at the Department of Housing under our Commissioner, Sabla Mosquera Bruno, Katie Duran, who's led the state's effort to end youth homelessness, and Steve Villela, who's been working on ending homelessness with both DOH and with CTBOSS, as well as the leadership at the partnership and Connecticut Coalition to End Homelessness, all the CAN teams and the agencies collaborating in ways most of us would have thought absolutely unimaginable only a short decade ago. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention mention the formative work of addressing youth homelessness of my colleagues, who you've heard from two of today, Stacy Valente-Cote and Sherry Shapiro at Kids in Crisis, but also with Louis Talarita from the Department of Ed, who were leading the way on ending youth homelessness well before either CTBOSS or the CAN systems were even thoughts in anyone's mind. So thank you all. It's receiving this award amidst these visionary pioneers, today's leaders, and everyone else in the CAN across Connecticut committing to ending youth homelessness, which is just so incredibly inspiring and humbling. Of course, you can't receive this kind of a recognition without it forcing you to look back and think about all the roads you've traveled, the people you've had the privilege to walk alongside of, and those whose ideas and encouragement made it possible for you to get to this place in life. Since I began my career, I've been given many opportunities. I'm not sure I deserved all of them, but in each case, someone thought I should have the chance to have a chance at making a difference. As some of you know, and you heard just a few minutes ago, in my most recent work at Youth Continuum, we've been developing a new project where youth experiencing homelessness are supported not only by a team of professional staff, but from college student volunteers from across the greater New Haven area. A few years ago, Youth Continuum started a youth action board because we knew it was critical to have young people with lived experiences informing our work. We brought that group of young people into this new project so they could interact with student volunteers, ensuring that students understood the issues involved with youth homelessness and to hear firsthand what those experiencing homelessness wanted and what they didn't want, what would help and what would not. I remember well the powerful final meeting of our first student volunteer training group several years ago. This first meeting of student volunteers and youth lived experiences with everybody in the room in the ages of 18 to 24. At the end of the training, we asked both groups what they learned. To a person, the sentiment coming from the youth experiencing homelessness was, you know, if I had the family supports and finances of the student volunteers, I could just as easily be at Yale or Southern or Quinnipiac or UConn. And from the student volunteers, the reverse also was true. The realization that if they didn't have their family support or financial capabilities, they could just as easily have been homeless. It was clear to everyone involved that what chances we have in life is largely determined as a matter of chance and the circumstances of what world and what family we were born into. But that group of young people, those with lived experiences and the student volunteers, understood very poignantly in that moment, we are them and they are us. Today, with issues of equity, access, power, and authority so much on everyone's minds, we are all increasingly aware that what it means to have privilege or not to have privilege is just a happenstance of being born into whichever family we are ultimately born into. We just as easily could be them, and they could just as easily be us. So while I'm incredibly grateful to receive this award, in many ways, my receiving this award is due to the chances I was given. Tomorrow's award winners, those providers already working to make a difference, and those young people with lived experience are already here among us. We just need to give them the same kind of chances to make a difference that I was given. And in doing so, we will win this war on homelessness, and we will build the equitable and just world everyone has the right to expect, not to have or to not have simply based on chance. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Paul. That was great. What a way to close out our evening. Congratulations, Paul. Congratulations to all our awardees this year. You all really embody the perseverance and tirelessness of the last year in terms of your work and contributions. Thank you so much. Thanks again to all the folks that helped make this happen, to our donors, to Jane, to Renee, to Anthony, to Joe for his poetry, and many of our staff who helped put this on together. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Renee to officially close us out. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Wow. I'm giving you a round of applause. That was an amazing production performance, all the work that goes into this, you know, and all the stress leading up to it and the practice and making sure the videos and everything is right. What a beautiful celebration of people making a difference. That's all of you. I am so honored to be in all of your presence. And I expect Teth will be performing next year now that we know that she can sing. So this is fantastic. So thank you, all of you, the sponsors who generously supported this year's Reaching Home Award celebration. Thank you all for coming here tonight to be a part of this and to celebrate the work being done over the past year to help end homelessness. We're not done. We've got a lot to do, but we are on our way. The partnership will be in touch after the event to announce the winner of the Text to Give raffle, which remains open until 6 p.m. tonight. And it's a good package, so donate generously. So having said that, have a great night. Thanks. See you next year, hopefully in person. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Congratulations.
Bye. Thank you.